Welcome to Seeing with Your Soul, a safe and sacred place to be vulnerable, to be transparent, to be authentic. I am your host, Tisha Michelle. From the deep pain and loss of my best friend Gloria, I realized she gave me the greatest gift ever, remembering my purpose in life, which is to help connect you to your authentic self, guide you to remember your purpose, and remind you that your current circumstance doesn't define who you are. Join me as we heal, align, and glow together.
All right, so welcome to Seeing with Your Soul. Hey.
Hey.
So I always like to start it off by just, for myself, expressing like my gratitude. And then whenever I have a guest, like, I want to ask you, in this present moment, the here and now, right now, what are you grateful for?
Oh my gosh. Honestly, my health, our health. Randy got COVID. My husband got COVID, and we have been quarantined for the last 10 days, and we had some really scary days. I did not get it. So just being healthy, being well right now is something that I'm not taking for granted. I'm extremely grateful for at this moment.
Yeah. It's so funny too, because like a lot of times it's the surface stuff like, I'm grateful for my house. I'm grateful for my health. But then when something like that happens, you're like, no, for real, I'm grateful for my health.
I know we're going to talk about breath, but like there were nights where he was having a hard time breathing. And I was like, wow, just being really thankful for the breath, like being thankful for the health. When you go through something like that, is you realize how much you take it for granted every day.
Oh, like for sure. So I would always like say stuff to people. I'd say something like, yo, just breathe. And they'll be like, or they'll send me a message and they'll say like, oh my gosh, this is happening. Like, what should I do? And I'm like, deep breaths. And they're like, what? I'm like, yes, I know it sounds so simple, but it's very, very, very powerful.
Yes.
Like, it's
we forget
powerful.
How much power is there.
Yeah. I said, breath is it's life. Like when we're breathing, we're alive. And I'm like, and that's it. So whatever's going on with you in that present moment, like you're alive. Like you just look around like you're okay. So
yep.
So for our listeners, so we're gonna have this conversation all around breath work and breathing. And then people are like, breathing, like, that's what we do every day. But yeah, that shit is powerful. That's why we are alive. We're here.
Yes.
But just explain to them, what is breath work?
Oh my gosh. So the technical answer I give everybody is that breathwork is a very powerful self-healing modality. But when you break past all the like terminology, it's really a way of finding the answers that you're looking for inside yourself and giving yourself a way to release any of the like energy you've picked up or stories that you've been carrying that don't actually belong to you. So it has many purposes, but the actual action of breath work is just giving in, surrendering to the breath for a period of time and letting your body do what it needs to do.
Yeah. So my experience with breathwork with you was very interesting, right? And so I'm a facilitator as well. It's I got a whole bunch of things I do. I do Reiki, all these things, because when I started my spiritual journey, I was really just like explore.
Yeah.
Right. I tell people all the time, clarity comes from taking action, right? So I'm just like, oh, let me do this. Let me do this. Let me do that. Just to really uncover, what do I enjoy? What do I I like? But with that being said, because I do so many things, I just be feeling like I'm the only one that can do this.
It's hard.
It's very hard to just, allow someone else, I'm a hypnotist, to do like hypnosis. And I'm just like, are you going to do this right? Are you really into it? Because then the ego and your human mind gets all into that. But then, when we were doing I forgot, I don't even remember what it was that I was doing. I think it was I don't know. Was it my conversation thing? I don't know.
It was like an inner child thing.
Girl, I'll be doing so many of them. I don't remember what it was. But yeah. So whatever one of the online things that I was doing, I was like, you know what? I was like, I should have her come on and do breath work. I was like, I think this would be really cool, because not everyone on there had experienced it. But then I was like, you know what? I'm going to actually do it myself too. Like, I'm going to get out of my own head and stop tripping and just allow it. And when you were doing that, it was, wait a minute. No. I don't think it was there. It was something first before that.
Oh yeah, because you were I remember on the call you were talking about you were about to start your inner child, the journey that you did. Because a couple of people that were on the call ended up signing up for and working with you. I can't remember what it was, but it was a very cool group of women that you brought together.
Yeah. So it's important for me to get this right. So it's before I brought you on to do it for my group. It was before that, something I participated in, and in that session when we did that, my best friend presented herself to me. And it had been a little bit before I had really, like, I always feel her. I feel her energy every single day. She rocks with this, but there's certain times where her energy is very, very present. And that's actually been like the past 3 or 4 days. So I know that there's a big shift that's coming for me. And also it's her birthday coming up on November 8th. So that's a whole other part of it too. But she ended up coming forward. And I remember I started crying, and guys, I don't be crying since I've been on this journey, like I have been. But for that to even happen and through someone else facilitating something means that I let my guard down. I felt safe and I felt like I could trust. And I was doing the breath work, and she was reminding me, like, yo, like, I died and unlocked so much, within you. Like, you got to stop playing and you got to get yourself out there. And it was like so powerful the way it was coming through. And I ended up speaking on it because I had to share that. And I really wanted to share it because I was like, I know you talk about, you do like branding and all that stuff. And that's pretty cool. But like, this breath work, that's your shit. Like, that's your gift. And it's not just like anything else that you do because your brand would be on point too. I ain't even going front. Like,
Thank you.
But I was like, this breath work, I was like, you got me crying. Like, I was feeling that. And again, so I'll take it back a little bit further, even to when the importance of breath work and the person that's facilitating it, right? You do want to feel safe. You do want to feel like it's a sacred, space, and you can trust and you can honestly just let everything go and allow, doing this breath work just to move through your body, move that energy that's been stored there for years. You can unlock things that's just really like in your way, and to connect with you and to experience that, especially with my behind, who'd be like, like, I don't know about these people. And
I made you a believer.
And, it was. And it wasn't necessarily a believer in breathwork because I believe in that, but that somebody else could open me up, and that I could feel the way that I make other people feel. And that's why I was like, girl, that's your thing. Like, what's up?
That means so much to hear you say.
Yeah, I was like, this your thing. Like, why are you not doing more of this and emphasizing more of like this? Because it's so powerful. It is so powerful. That's why I was like, I need you to come and do this in this group, because I knew with the things that we would talk about and that we like, work on and stuff, for people to really just understand, just be still for a little bit, do something that's natural that we have, and go through, the different breathwork techniques, and to really just unlock that. So I felt like it was super important to even really express that to the listeners, that
means so much.
When someone steps into their purpose and they step into like their gifts and they facilitate that, lives transform or, open up. And that's something that you'll do.
That means so much.
I appreciate you even stepping into that, which could kind of actually lead into, how did you get started into there?
Well, it's validating and reassuring to hear you say that, because I think all of us can have some sort of story of the thing that got us started. My background is in marketing. I worked for a marketing company for years, and it sort of just, I got led into that. I was a graphic designer. It just sort of happened. It came naturally to me. It was something that I just happened to be good at, but it didn't really like light me up. Like, I always used to say that I'd love to do graphic design projects, but not if it was a paid job, because I didn't want to do something I didn't want to do. I only wanted to do the things I wanted to do that like made me feel good. And then I did breath work at an event that I went to, and it was a similar story. It was like life-changing. It had so many positive effects on my life. I got the courage to fix some of the things that were happening in my relationship. I kind of just step out of my shell. And then when I found out that I could learn how to facilitate it myself and give that gift to other people, it was like a no-brainer. But whenever you get on a stage or get in front of a group to do it, whatever your gift is, there's always that like little voice in the back of your head that's like, okay, well, what if there's somebody better at it than me in the audience? Like, what if somebody's going to be like, she's messing it up, she's not doing it right? Like, there's always these little voices and guides that try to like mess you up a little bit. And when you can just really be like, this is what I'm doing. It may be imperfect, but I'm going to show up today and I'm going to do it the best way that I know how. That I think is really where the magic happens, because I may not be the best breathwork facilitator in the world. You, whatever your passion is, you may not be the best at it, but the way you show up and serve people is what makes you different than everybody else who's in the game.
Oh my gosh. So agree with that. And that's why I said the connection. And that's why I was like, it was important for me to even explain that, because you do need to feel safe when you're doing any type of inner work, anything with that. You want to feel safe, because a lot of times we walk around not feeling like we're safe. That's why we bury everything. We bury everything. So when you have that person that's facilitating whatever it is that they're doing, and they can drown out that noise and they say, it's just what it is, I'm just going to be the best version of me. You know, you're getting 100% of them. You're not sitting there worried about, you know, if there's a person that's thinking like, okay, I got to make sure that I do it like this, and I got to make sure like that. I'm like, you're not really even connecting in that sense, because you're so focused on making it perfect. And I'm like, and what's perfect, you know, by somebody else's like standards. So no, that is important. And yes, we all will get that ego will pop in, that little voice and be like, who do you think you are?
All the time it happens. It never goes away. You just kind of learn how to make friends with it. And I think there was a time, one of the biggest lessons I've taken from facilitating breathwork is when I very first started, I would like write out all my cues and the prompts and the things that I was going to say. And I would like have it all written down and I would read it. And one day I talked to the woman that has been my mentor, and I was like, I don't know, I feel like there's just another level that I can't get to. And she like asked me how I was doing it. And she was like, wait, what, you're reading things? And I was like, well, yeah, what if I like forget what to say? And she was like, no, the whole point of this is to like tap into your intuition and be in alignment. And once I really just threw the notes away and gave in to my own intuition and trusted that I could do this and that I knew what I was doing and that my body was going to guide me the way that it needed to be led, was when everything shifted in terms of breath work. And I think we forget that there isn't like a secret message. There isn't like a skill that you're missing out on. There isn't like a trick that everybody else has that you don't. It's just a matter of tapping in and listening to your own intuition.
Oh my God, absolutely. That's how I've talked about that before when I first started with doing like readings. And I was doing like the oracle cards, right? My teacher, she had me go get this particular oracle card deck, right? And so I got it, and she's like, okay, you see the book in there? We're on FaceTime. I'm like, yeah. She's like, throw it away. And I'm like, what? I just paid money for this. Like, what you mean throw it away? She was like, look, anybody can memorize a book. Anybody can open a book and read it. She was like, you are to tap into your intuition and what is it that you're getting about that person. And that was one of like the things that just stood out with me, is that I get to do things how I want to do by trusting in myself. And the same with you, where it's like, oh, I'm like reading this. But then if you just step back and trust, like you're going to be guided. Same thing when I do like hypnosis, right? We have scripts for everything, which is great. The scripts are good. However, you do want to use like certain words with your client that's really going to resonate, you know, with them. So if I'm doing like an induction, you know, I could use a script for that. But when we're working on something else, I just trust what I'm saying and what's coming to me. And that's when the very first time I was forced to do that. I was actually forced to do it. I was all ready to rock and roll, and I had my little script with her and ready to do this. And at the induction, everybody's different. I don't know if you've ever experienced hypnosis or not, but when you do the induction, that's the part where we're really getting you like relaxed. I guess that's the best way, getting you relaxed. So we can take you through like a vision of something like, you know, imagine yourself on the beach and blah, 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 blah. So some people, you gotta, when you're doing, especially if you're in person, you watch their breathing and you want to see if are they really like in a hypnotic state or whatever. So this was with one of my friends, and I can talk about this because she talked about it on the podcast and stuff. So she was ready to really like deep dive into some trauma for her. Yeah. So she's done hypnosis before, but she had a hypno birth. So, okay, so she closed her eyes and I'm like, okay, cool. So I have my stuff to do for her and I'm doing the induction, and within like maybe 30 seconds, hypnotic state done. I'm like, wait, what? I didn't even get through. Wait. So when that happened, I was like, she's already in a hypnotic state and I have like maybe like 5 more paragraphs to go.
Yeah.
And in that moment, I heard Spirit say, put the script down and just talk.
That's like, so beautiful.
And I just started talking and she was crying and she was going through so much and she was pulling up so much stuff from her childhood and different things. And I tell people now, to date, that was the most powerful hypnosis session that I've ever inducted in.
Yeah.
And it pushed me to another limit. So it's really just all about just trusting. Even when you're the person that's receiving like the breath work, just trust. Trust your body, trust yourself. If, get rid of that voice that's just saying like, what's really going on? How do I look? Am I breathing right? Yeah. Is anybody judging my sound? Like,
yeah. Well, and I think the coolest part about breath work is that in hypnosis, all similar sort of modalities, is that unlike when you're on drugs or alcohol, you can get off the ride. You're in control of the ride at all times. Your body is always safe because you're really facilitating the breath. You're facilitating the journey through the trauma. Like, you're always in control of it. You can take your foot off the gas. You can put your foot on the gas. And it's very much different than disassociating or trying to uncover things with drugs and alcohol, because once you're on that ride, you're on for as long as it's going to take you down that ride. You have no control over it. But breath has some really awesome powers in terms of even just like releasing and kind of just getting away from all the garbage that's weighing you down. Like, instead of having a glass of wine, what if you were just like do some breath work and tap into some breath? And then not only are you in control of the ride, but you've got something amazing out of it and you don't feel like shit the next day. Can I say shit on your podcast?
Girl, I say the F word as I'm saying the F word. Why not just say, I say fuck. I say shit all the time. I tell people, I'll be like, stop that shit.
I was like trying to remember it as I was saying if I heard it before.
Yeah, and I think that's important. It's just to be like who you are. I had a session with someone prior to this, and when I called her, and then this is the first time, and I was like, "Hey, it's me, Tisha." And she was like, "Hey," she was like, "Yeah, I've actually been listening to your podcast, and like I noticed like you curse, like I curse." And then she's like, I wonder when she calls me, is she gonna be like, "Hey, this is Tisha, like we have a call scheduled today." So I was like, "Nah, girl." No, you are not getting that from me. I'm like, hey, like we know each other for real.
Yes. And you can apply that to like all this stuff, right? Like, for so long in breathwork, I thought I had to be like, have this voice that was like very calming. And I was like, what am I doing? That's like not even how I talk. That's not who I am. Like, I just need to be me. And once I really gave myself permission to be her, whether I was facilitating or being facilitated for, that's when like so much amazing stuff will happen for you.
Yeah. And I think that's a key message, like you said, is for everything. It's really just being yourself, allowing yourself to just be free. I remember, I don't know who I was talking to before, we were talking about smoking and stuff. And they were saying it was like a group of us, and they were saying why they was like, it just calms me. And I was like, okay, Spirit, is this time where I step in and say something, or I just sit back and listen? And I was like, nah, fuck that. I'm gonna step back and say something. I'm gonna step in and say something. I said, so what about something that's addictive that calms you? And they was like, and then they did the whole motion of like they were smoking and they bring it. I was like, oh, so what you're saying is it's the breathing, right? And I already know like this. And they're like, what? I'm like, no, there's no possible way, science back, that nicotine is relaxing and calming to you. It's just not. But what you just did was you indicated the breathing in and the breathing out. It's the breath that is calming and relaxing to you.
Tisha, I have never put those two things. I used to be a pack a day smoker. Like I quit a long time ago, like probably 9 years ago, but I never put those two things together before. That's a really great observation.
That's what it's the breathing. Like everything comes back to the breath.
Interesting.
Everything comes
really
back
interesting.
To the breath.
And I was like a chain smoker. I was like, should have just started breathing.
Yeah, you know, that's why I always make sure to point it out. I said it's nicotine. Look at what's in nicotine. What it does. There's no possible way that that's calming to you. It's just not. You can't back it up with any type of science or whatever. But what it is that you taking the deep breath in and then you breathing out. I'm like, it's the breath. That's what's relaxing and what's calming and what's making you feel like you can get through the day. That's it. It's something that you naturally have and you can do. And, you know, on your own, it's free. But when you want to go deeper, you know, going through breathwork session with you, that's a whole other level. I tell people, please have some type of breathwork done. Like you will unlock so
interesting
much
observation.
Yeah, that's what that is.
You blow my mind.
So yeah, you know, those people who are smoking be like, nah, just book a breathwork.
Yeah, here you go. Here's a card.
Well, you know, talking to a mutual client of ours, she was talking about when she had a breathwork session with you, like how dope it was and like how she like, you know, who she seen and what was connected like to her group. I was like, let's go. Like, yes, let's go. And she was like, yeah. And it was so detailed and so descriptive of like what she's seen, who she's seen, what was said. And I'm like, yes. I'm like, and that's the power of breath work. Like it's the power of when you feel comfortable and you feel safe and you feel protected and you just allow yourself to be. That shit's magical.
Yes.
Like,
and it's
magical.
not, the thing I always tell people is like, it's not coming from an outside source. Like if you're one of my clients and you've been stuck, or I hate the term stuck because I feel like it's just sugarcoating the fact that we're like re-victimizing ourselves of shit that we've just like carried around with us. But when you're feeling sticky like that and you can't get the inspiration that you need and you're searching for the clarity, what do? We like go log on to Facebook. We're scrolling, tap, tap, scroll, tap, tap. Like we do all these things to look for information and inspiration from outside sources. And everything that you need is literally inside of you and you have access to it. So for you to be able to tap into that and get those visions like that and get that clarity and those answers without needing any outside sources, to me is like, you can't ask for more than that as a gift from yourself.
Absolutely. I had one of my clients said to me, she's like, oh my gosh, I 100% now get it when every time you say that everything that I need is in me. And she's like, I get it. And she was sharing the experience. I'm like, because it is. And someone like me and someone like you just comes along to guide and bring it out. That's it. I mean, we're not giving it to you.
You're just a facilitator.
That's it.
Yes, exactly. And it's not my job to empower you. It's not my job to give you the answers. It's our jobs as facilitators to guide you through that process to empower yourself, to find the answers within yourself. If you're a coach or a breathwork facilitator or whatever, and you're creating clients that are dependent on you, you're just enabling more codependency. So it's so powerful for people like you and I. And I think this is also why you're one of the people I really admire in the industry, that you don't create more codependent people. The ways in which you lead your people is to guide them to find this stuff themselves, to find the dependency within their own bodies and their own lives. And that is what's so sorely missing for so many women in this world.
Oh, absolutely. I'm like, don't be dependent on me. Like, don't be trying. No, I'm going to be doing something else in 6 months because I'm tapping into more of who I am and unlocking more of my gifts. So don't, I'll be like, don't, but it is. And I get people all the time where they'll say like, oh my gosh, like you did this, you did. And I always stop it. And somebody was like, do you have a hard time accepting compliments? I was like, I used to, but no, now I don't, I'm good with accepting compliments, but I want to bring it back to the person because I'm like, you did it. I was the guide. You need to know that you did that shit. It takes a lot to face yourself. It takes a lot to sit there and close your eyes and listen to what Vanessa is saying when she's saying, you know, breathing this or imagine this or imagine that. It takes a lot to do that because you are facing yourself. So I'm like, you did that
breath
shit.
Work for a reason. It's work. It's not
Exactly.
easy to do. It's a lot of work that happens. And it takes a lot of bravery. It takes a lot of guts. And it takes a lot of, you have to be ready to be done settling. I think to do this kind of, any kind of like spiritual work like this, you've got to be at the point where you're just not willing to settle for less anymore, because it's hard to do the work, but the work is never as hard as all the shit that led you to this point.
Absolutely. I think just a lot of people get comfortable with knowing, even though they don't like the feeling, but they know what that is. But then all of a sudden when things start to shift and you're like, wait, that was actually pretty easy. It's very, very uncomfortable. You're like,
yes. And we make it part of, and what happens, I think it too, is that we make it so part of our identity, all these stories that we've held on to, we call them like daddy issues. Oh, I'm just an empath, or I'm just a people pleaser, and that becomes like who we are. So then once you start like doing the work and realizing like, that's not actually who I am, I just have created that identity to validate the fact that I've picked up all these old stories and I'm so desperate for like love and affection and to be seen. It makes you really challenge, okay, then who am I? Who am I if I'm not a people pleaser? Who am I if I don't have daddy issues? Like who do I get to be in those moments? And when you can break past those identities, man, just magic happens.
Oh, for sure. It's like the person who's been sick their whole life. And then you know, they've been sick their whole life. But when they imagine life not being like that, it's scary.
Yeah.
And that's why they have a hard time healing themselves. And they have a hard time with different things and stuff, because like they bought into that identity. That's just who they are. Yeah. Maybe people say like, that's just who I am. I'm like, what? So I remember the very first time I was on somebody's podcast and they was like, okay, so, you know, just let everybody know like who you are. And I was like, well, let me let you know what I do.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm a mother, you know, I'm this, I'm that. And then I was like, okay, so I just told you everything that I do, but who I am, I don't know. It's still unfolding every day.
Yeah.
Every day I'm unlocking it. I'm like, every day I'm unlocking it. But because when you start to say like, oh, I'm this, I'm that, that's your identity. You know, that's your identity. I had to shift when I used to be like, oh man, I'm so tired. And I had to start saying, well, a part of me is tired. You know, well, part of me is annoyed, because if I start buying into that identity, I'm annoyed, I'm going to be annoyed all day.
Or I'm experiencing feelings of anxiety right now versus I have anxiety. I'm just experiencing tiredness. I'm experiencing annoyance. I'm experiencing fear. I'm not fear. I'm not annoyed, but I'm experiencing these feelings. And when we can observe them and not identify with them, you get to take back the power from them.
Absolutely. And then that part of that identity is stored in your body. And you want to get rid of that shit. I can tell people time like, okay, if you were to bend over right now to pick something up, and then all of a sudden a part of your body is aching, you're like, why is that aching? I didn't do anything. There's a lot of stored energy in there, and that's why it's hurting. So then if you can do some breath work with Vanessa, bring it out. Bring that shit out. Like, bring that really through, because it's stored into our bodies. And whatever created that identity, that people pleasing, right? Because you want everybody to like you. Why? Because when you was a little girl, you was 9 years old, or a little boy, and everybody was making fun of you at school and nobody wanted to play with you. So now you're doing everything possible to make sure that everyone likes you, even though you're sacrificing yourself and how you feel. So that story and that trauma and all that stuff is stored in your body. It's stored in your body. And now that's your identity and that's who you are. I'm just a people pleaser. And then people that justify it, I just have a big heart.
Yes. No, you just don't know how to set boundaries and you're letting people walk all over you. And that's just how you justified it.
Exactly. So you come up with that. If your heart is so big, then you will really truly recognize that you are the number one person in your life, and you love yourself first, and you wouldn't be putting up with any of that stuff. Right. And you stop to really justify that.
Yeah. I was at an event once and they did an exercise where you had to write down the names of like the 5 people in your life you cared about most. And each time they were like, okay, crumple one up and get rid of it. You have to get rid of that. that person.
Mm-hmm.
And at the very end, when you had one piece of paper left, they were like, how many of you have your own name written on that piece of paper? It was like one person in the whole room of like 300 people. And I was like, wow, we really, and I know men do this too, but as women, especially, we got so used to putting ourselves second somewhere along the line. And sometimes not even second. Sometimes it's like third and fourth and fifth behind your partner, and then behind the kids, and behind the parents, and then behind the dog. And we forget that having a big heart and being a people pleaser and caring about people doesn't mean we have to come last.
Absolutely. It's so funny when you brought that up. So my son, he just turned 10. So I want to say he was maybe 7 or 8. And this is when he was actually in school and they had an activity or something like that. And I don't remember the exact question, but it was pretty close to that of like writing down the people that like you care about or something. And he wrote me on there.
Aww.
So when we were reading it, me and his dad was like, yo, did you just put yourself? And he looked at me like, why the fuck wouldn't I have? Like, that's how
you did a good job, Mom.
I was like, oh my gosh. And I was like, you know what? I don't even think I would have put me on that. I don't even think I would have did that. So for him to do that was like, he looked at me like, duh, like what the hell did you
Why wouldn't I?
But that's so true. Like we will put ourselves like, sometimes it's not even that it's last. We just not even a part of the equation. Like we're not even a part of it. And it's to put for, other people. Because again, that's our identity. I've always been a people pleaser. Like I've always had a hard time saying no. No, you're just probably a hard time putting yourself first. And that's okay to let that person, when you're choosing yourself. But the world tells us that we're selfish if we do something like that. Like, how dare us do something like that? That's crazy.
You're either too selfish or too much of a giver. You can't win.
Yes. And I'm just like, no, it's okay to put yourself first, as you should. And it's just, all you're simply saying is that I love you. I just love myself more. That's it. And that's okay, because that's how it should be. And I remember the first time I told that to someone, I was like, you are the most important person. I said, you come even before your children. They were like, what? And I was like, I'm going to stop you right there. I'm a mother of 4. My first child at 16. Like, that's all I know in that sense is motherhood. And I'm going to tell you, I got to come before my kids. Because if I don't care for myself, I'm going to die worrying and stressing about who's going to care for them. Yeah. No, I got to make sure that I'm okay. So that way I can, be that person to help them or to set things up or whatever. And that took a while. That took a very long time for me. I would go out to go buy myself something and I come back with something for the kids and nothing for me. I'm like, wait, my intention was to go and buy me some tennis shoes. And I came and I started to feel guilty and I started to feel bad. And, and it's like, wait a minute. And that's why another reason why I love breathwork, because even when you're feeling like that, you're feeling guilty or you're feeling overwhelmed or you're feeling like you're not enough, bring it back to the breath. Bring it, take a time out and bring it back to the breath so you can move that through your body. Like, where is that coming from? What story is attached to it and where is it held up in your body? Like, where's that?
Yeah, it goes back to the analogy of like the oxygen masks when you're on a plane. When you're on a plane and they're like, hey, if something happens and the oxygen mask will fall down from the ceiling, put your mask on before you help other people. Because if you don't get your mask on in time, you are not going to be able to help your children or your partner or other people on the plane. So I think we have to apply that to life too. You have got to put your own mask on before you try to help other people. And if you don't, you're not going to be able to serve everybody. You'll run out. It's just not possible.
Oh yeah, for sure. I love that with the plane. I love that. First, I never understood it. I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Why? That don't even make no sense.
Yeah.
Why would I put it on? I'm so confused. Like, I gotta hurry and put it on my kids. What you mean? Like, before it goes down and all. And then as it started going through and I started relating it to life, I'm like, now I understand why they say that when you're flying. I'm like, now it makes sense. But the whole patriarchy, the whole society did an amazing job programming the shit out of us. That we are not important. Everybody else comes first. And if, you know, you even think about coming first or putting that on you're selfish. So they did an amazing job.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's just time to, you know, really step back and say, wait a minute, does this stuff really make sense? You know, why does my body feel like that? What's really stored in, because everything's energy, right? And so everything is energy. So what is that? I had my own little breathwork session with myself the other day. I was so overwhelmed. I was feeling so overwhelmed. And you're right. We're never stuck. We're never stuck. We're blocked. We're blocked, right? And I was like, yo, I can't take this anymore. And I was like, I got to go walk the track. Like, I feel like I'm going crazy right now. And I just went to walk the track. I was getting ready to put on a podcast. The spirit was like, no podcast. No podcast. So I turned back around and put the phone in the car and I went back to the walk, and I just needed to be with myself. And I just started taking some deep breaths. I just started taking these deep breaths and really just focusing like on that. And then so many things started popping in, just jumping in. I was like, oh my gosh, I need to do this. I need to do that. I need to do this. And all these things were just coming in. That was just for me understanding that I was overwhelmed, that I was feeling a certain way. And I needed to be outside. I love to be outside. And I needed to bring it back to me breathing.
Yeah.
You know, not listening to a podcast, which is great because this is a podcast, right? But there's those times for it. Then there's those times for us to just kind of, you know, be with ourselves and bring it back to, you know, our breathing. So that way we can get back to that place of wholeness, that place of love, that place of oneness.
Absolutely. I love that. And it's so easy to get sucked into I need to listen to a podcast or I need to scroll social media. And I think it's not only do we have those moments like in normal life, but especially right now, the weight of the entire human experience is so heavy that if you are a people pleaser or if you are an empath and you're used to like being part of that identity, you're probably taking on so much of everybody else's energies right now that you may not even be realizing that what you're feeling is not actually yours. But now it's in your body and you have to process it to get it out, or you're going to keep thinking that it's yours and it's going to be weighing you down and making you feel quote unquote stuck. Oh
yeah, for sure. And I'm glad you brought that up. It is so important to check in with yourself to see, is this my feeling or is this somebody else's? You know, because we can pick it up very, very easily. And you know, the work that you do and the work that I do, we're definitely picking it up. I have these ties with clients that all of a sudden I'll start to feel sad or feel a certain way. And then I'll get a text message from one of them and I'm like, oh, that's why I was feeling that. Okay. All right. You know, but with everything going on, like you just pick up all that. And then because you pulled it in, it has to store somewhere, you know, so it'll store in our body.
And because we feel like it's our responsibility to take care of everybody else, we feel like it's our responsibility to hold that. And then not only is it not your responsibility, it was never meant for you. Those feelings, that energy was never meant for you to carry on your back the weight of the whole human experience right now. It's not, you can't do it. Like it will weigh you down. You will feel stuck. You will feel like you don't have any clarity or you're not sure which way to go because what you're experiencing and what you're processing isn't yours.
Yeah, for sure. And that's why it'll make you feel like you're crazy, like you're going crazy because you can't even really like connect it.
Yeah,
and especially right now, especially between now and like Halloween, the veil between this earthly realm and our spiritual realm is so thin that you're just like picking up so much. You're just going over. I mean, I've had people messaging me about their dreams, and I'm like, yeah, you was in your past life. You was just crossing over, and because it's so heavy. So it's super, super important to protect yourself right now. We gotta protect ourselves in general, but protect ourselves a lot now, and just putting like a layer of protection just to keep, you know, some of those low vibrational energies away, because you're easy to bring it in. And then you're over here feeling like you're crazy because you don't know what's wrong with you. Somebody's like, what's wrong? You're like, I don't know. And they're like, what you mean you don't know? I'm like, no, I really don't know. Like, I just know I'm feeling like this. And then you have your own stuff and it's like, oh my gosh. And I'm talking about, like, just breathe. Just breathe.
Just breathe. Tap into the breath.
Tap into it. And they're like, but I'm already breathing, aren't I? I'm like, well, take some deep breaths and stuff.
It's funny how whenever I work with new breathers, they think that doing the breath work is going to be just like a normal breathing. But what I think even I didn't realize before I started doing breath work is that we never really breathe the way we should breathe. We are, as humans, very shallow breathers, very quick breathers. We don't really give ourselves the full power of what our bodies are capable of. So taking a deep breath is not only refreshing for your body, it's something that your muscles are not used to. So when you start doing breath work, at first, the actual practice of the breath can be difficult because your body is like, whoa, what's going on here? Why are we doing so much of this? This is too much for me. And to give yourself the gift of that intake of oxygen and clarity and release is in my opinion, one of the most powerful things you can do for yourself at any moment of the day. You can just stop and tap into it when you're feeling a little crazy, when you're feeling a little like, whoa, whose energy is this? You already have access to it.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's good because it leads me to say, like, so for our listeners right now, they've never experienced breath work, or maybe they have, and they are in the middle of feeling like they're crazy, they're stuck or whatever. And they can book a session with you, which is what I want everybody to do, to experience it. But in that present moment, what is something that they could do? Like, what would you give them
So one of my favorite patterns that I do very often, probably almost every day I do this, is deep breaths with top holds. Do you ever do top holds?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they're my favorite. So I just do between 5 to 10 deep inhales and exhales. And then after that, I'll breathe in as deep as I can. And then I just hold my breath for as long as I can. And I probably do that like maybe four or 5 rounds of that. The really cool thing for me about top holds is that, and I'm sure you can speak to this too, when you're in that space of just holding your breath, your brain is going, okay, what's going on? Why aren't we breathing? Something's wrong. We need to breathe. We need to breathe. And all of a sudden your body just gets kind of like flooded with this information and clarity, and all the little things that you've been holding on to kind of fall away because your body goes into this like, what's happening? What's really important right now? What do we need to focus on? And the more times that you do it, the longer you can hold your breath. And usually by like the 4th or 5th one, I'll be like, oh my God, I don't ever need to breathe ever again. I can just hold my breath forever. Your heartbeat is intensified. Like sometimes I can feel my heart beating in my face, and it just becomes this like super blissed out moment. And if you get to that point where your body is like in the chaos, sort of like a roller coaster ride, you're going up the roller coaster, it's like building. And all of a sudden your body's like, no more, we need to breathe. If you can bypass that chaos and just let those feelings just sort of pass through your body, it's just straight bliss after that, just inside of your own body by yourself with your breath.
Oh my gosh, so magical. Whenever I do that, and and I might start doing it now, like every day. But when I do it, it's when I get, for the most part, it's when I get to the 3rd one, I'm like, yo, I got this. Like, I'd be like, I got this. I get it. This is, yes. So, you know what? This might be something I might start, because that's been coming up a lot for me too lately, is switching my routine and really kind of switching some things up. So it may be something, because I love it. And I just experience so much. I don't know why I don't do it every day. So I'm glad you just said that you do it every day, because that would literally could be me switching up and doing, because I get so much. It's just so powerful.
I've been working on bottom holds where you exhale instead of inhale and then hold, but those are significantly harder. That's much more of like a practice for me versus just like a release. But the other thing that I really love to do is when I'm feeling really anxious, S breath, where you just take a deep breath in and then you like make like a snake sound the whole way out. Or a lot of times in my car, I don't even think these are technical, but the facilitators that I learned with would do them all the time, just scream breaths. Like, have you ever just like screamed like all out, taken a deep breath in and just screamed like at the top of your lungs in the car, especially? That shit is liberating as fuck.
4 days ago. Oh my God. 4 days ago, I was in the car. So you know what's so funny? I don't even remember what it was that triggered it. And that's good. That's how you say we can't hold on to that stuff. Like, I just got in the car and I just was like screaming. Like, and I just let it out. And then I sat for real quick. I was like, I got to do it again. I ended up doing it 4 times. Oh my gosh. It was so powerful. My throat was a little scratchy afterwards. I was like, why my throat feel like this? And I was like,
do I feel it or am I just screaming?
I was like, which one is this? I might have to pull up and get tested because I don't really know. And then I remember I was telling my friend ended up calling me afterwards and he was like, oh, what are you doing? I was like, I just finished screaming. He's like, what? I was like, yeah. I just said to like, yeah, I'll just release this. And it was like, are you okay? I was like, no.
Or whenever somebody's talking to you and they're like, I'm so frustrated. I feel like I could scream. And you're like, okay, have you tried it? Like, have you screamed? And they're like, no. You're like, why not? Like, why not? If you feel like you want to scream, just scream. It's better than punching someone or like doing something bad. Scream. Like the whole goal, I feel like, is just to get that energy out of your body, whatever that feels like, crying, screaming, yelling, like movement, whatever it is, you got to get it out. And if screaming is what feels right for you, man, give yourself permission to just embody it and do it.
Absolutely. And people will think, no, it needs to be a lot more complicated for me to really get some. I'm like, no, it's breathing, it's really screaming. Not. Like, it's not. Just do it. I promise you. Like, I mean, I still have one of my friends that was she came on where you had to do the breath work. And she talked, actually, it was like 2 days ago, we talked about it. And she was like, she's like, I still think about that breathwork session, that Vanessa, she's like, that Vanessa did. She was like, and when I seen my younger self just waving and how happy I looked and stuff, that is power. That is power. It's so powerful. So I need everybody to book a session with you and get this breathwork. And then the second part to it is you have to say, thank you, Tisha.
Thank you, Tisha.
like I need them all after the session with you to say thank you because I'm telling you, it is dope.
Team effort.
And yes, like because it is. I'm like, you'll thank me later, and I'm like, no, I need you to thank me.
I appreciate that so much.
Because it is. It's powerful, and you're so good at what you do, and it's a gift of yours, and it's that passion. It's that passion behind it. So I'm kidding with everybody. You guys don't have to say thank you to me, but I do really suggest that you go and have a breathwork session. So with that being said, how can they find you?
So I'm on Instagram. That's probably the best way to find me. My Instagram is I am Vanessa Charles. And I'm on Facebook as Vanessa Charles. I'm working on a website, but as you know, those of us that just go, sometimes we do things backwards. So I will have a website, but I'm actually doing a couple sessions coming up. So if anybody's interested in just trying it out, go follow me on Instagram. And then there's posts about it, how you can get it on that.
Perfect. And I'll make sure that I will put your Instagram in the show notes too, to make it even easier for people. So to definitely connect with you and get it.
And I'm really looking forward to doing something together one day soon.
Yeah,
I would love to do something with you. Yeah,
in December, from where my Florida listeners
yes,
and we're definitely gonna put that together because it definitely goes hand in hand. So
yeah. I love it. I love everything you do. Keep showing up and doing what you're doing because I think there's so much need for this kind of work in the world. And I think people are waiting, people are watching. And I think a lot of times people watch and are afraid to ask. So it's awesome to see women like you showing up and just talking about it because I think it gives people permission to kind of step into it.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's all about just be yourself. Whatever that is, whoever that is, let it unfold, let it unravel.
Take a deep breath.
Yeah, take a deep breath. Thanks a bunch. This was good.
Thank you so much, Tish, for having me. I love this.
No, my pleasure. This was really good, and it was easy, it's easy like breathwork.
Easy like breathwork.
All right. Thank you.
You're so welcome.
Thanks for tuning in to #certified. If anything resonated with you, I would love to continue the conversation. You can follow me on Instagram at @itistisha. And if you want to be a part of the #certified tribe, you can join my Facebook group by going to the search tab and putting in #certified. My website is conversationswithtisha.com. As always, have a great one on purpose. Love you.
Big news. Wayfair's President's Day clearance is on now, and you can score tons of huge deals, like Wayfair's best deals since Black Friday. Right now through February 16th, you can score up to 70% off everything home at Wayfair, like up to 50% off mattresses with fast and easy shipping straight to your door. Plus amazing flash deals on President's Day. Shop Wayfair's President's Day clearance now through February 16th.
Wayfair, every style, every home.